been a few months since I've done my last favorites video, and I'm really excited because there has been some amazing things that I've been loving both on and off camera. So some of these are definitely not going to be a surprise for you. Like, if I love something, I'm going to talk about it, but I do have some things that might have slipped through the cracks a little bit. You know, when it comes to these favorites videos, a lot of these are products that I use leisurely, not on camera. So the reason that I haven't done a favorites video in such a long time is because first trimester Morgan was not using makeup leisurely. I was putting on makeup for my job to get my content out, but I was not really wearing the makeup for enjoyment, seeing what I reached for without having to think about the camera and what products I need to be testing. So now that we're out of those trenches, I have some stuff that I have been genuinely loving and wearing off camera, and I just want to share my love for them with you. We of course have makeup. Of course. But I actually have like a lot of skincare, body care, and hair care products as well, because I've just been putting more focus into that. As I'm preparing my house for the baby, I recently just completely decluttered and reorganized all my hair products. I'm currently working on all my skincare products, so it's encouraged me to like pull out new stuff, and I found some new and old discoveries. That's pretty much that. That's why it's been a bit since I've done a favorites video, but I would say over the last couple of months since I've come back alive as a human being, these are what I've been loving. So with the makeup, not as many surprises, but let's get started with foundations or base products. I have a couple that I've been loving. Now this one's obvious, so I don't want to go into too much talk about this because I've done it enough. But the foundation of the year is the Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. As someone who loved the concealer, this is everything that I wanted from a foundation version of it. From what I'm seeing from your guys' comments, it seems to bridge across all different skin types, all different age groups. I'm seeing so many people who are loving this. It's so stretchy and creamy on the skin. It has like a medium coverage. It's like a natural finish, not too glowy, not too matte. And it's just so hydrating on my dry skin. My skin has loved this, and it wears really well also. I find that a lot of foundations that typically feel as creamy as this, they don't really wear so well. It doesn't matter. This barely goes into my fine lines. I always enjoy my makeup when I wear this. It just looks so fresh and healthy, and it's the ideal foundation for me. It's everything I wanted and more. I've done full reviews. I've done TikTok reviews. I've done the whole nine with this to share my love for this. I've done a 1 month update. I've been using this for over a month. It's just as incredible as that first impression that I gave. So if you are looking to splurge, treat yourself towards the end of the holiday season, the Sephora savings event, the foundation that personally I recommend and that I've been loving is this guy from Natasha Denona. Now for something a little bit more light and natural, I was definitely more into skin tints in the summer, warmer time, though it was 80 degrees yesterday. And we're like in October, so I don't know what's up with that. But I did come across months ago, around the time that I started to get really sick, so I couldn't fully acknowledge that I enjoyed it and loved it. But now that I'm out of that trance, I'm back on my love for this. This is the Dr. Jart BB Premium Beauty Balm. So this is kind of like a skin tint, but it gives a lighter side of medium coverage, and it just looks so natural and hydrating on the skin. It makes my skin look so smooth. If I was coherent enough in the summer, which I wasn't, but if I had been, I would have noticed how creamy and smooth and milky this looks on the skin. There's just something about it with the lighter side of medium coverage, so it does give more than a tint. It's not a skin tint, but it's in that family because it does have SPF 40, and it's supposed to hydrate, conceal, protect. It also has niacinamide. I don't know what this beauty balm situation that they're claiming it is, but all I know is that I really love it. They say it's a great skin day in a tube. It's buildable, it's breathable, it moisturizes, protects, and delivers good coverage with a natural looks like you finish. I absolutely agree with that. Now, since I get a lot of things in PR, this was in PR, I tend to mix shades. So this isn't my perfect shade. So I use light, medium, medium, and then I mix in some fair, and that's how I get my perfect shade for that. So unfortunately, I do need to mix some shades just based on what was available to me. But I love this if you're looking for something with less coverage, but you're very textured, and you find foundations can easily look heavy on your skin or just emphasize dry patches. I really, really have been loving this. So I want to give a little extra emphasis on this because I know I've talked plenty about the Natasha Denona, but this is also such a standout, phenomenal product for the skin, which, as you know, in this day and age is so hard to do. Makeup formulas are so good now. These labs have really mastered quality at all price points. So it's very, very special when a product actually stands out. Because yes, 90% of the products I try, they're good. But which ones are the great ones? I can tell you, all of these products, they're the great ones. So next, to set the makeup. This one I've mentioned in like every video because I feel like it's not popular enough, it's not talked about enough, and it needs to be. It's from Laura Mercier. This is the Secret Brightening Under Eye Setting Powder. It's just not a big launch. I know Laura Mercier is very popular, but it's not a viral brand, even though they are known for their loose setting powders. But this particular one, it's so much more fine than the full-size powder. And you have to try, I mean, I hate telling you, you need to get a tool. I'm sure you have good tools, but there's something about this tool, the Camouflage Powder Brush, also from Laura Mercier. Just get like a paddle-like brush. This is synthetic fiber. It almost feels like a paintbrush. There's something about the way of using this very fine powder, pressing it into the brush, and very lightly pressing it into the under eyes where the powder doesn't build up. So especially for those of you who have more mature under eyes, I think this is fantastic to set the under eyes because it's not a baking type of situation. It keeps the layer really light so it doesn't get cakey, it doesn't get dry. With the combination of this extremely fine powder and with the application of this paddle styled brush is incredible, I swear. With this combo, I swear my concealers, they just wear so much longer, they look so much fresher, they look so much lighter. There's much less creasing. The creasing is kept very, very minimally. I think sometimes we need to keep our expectations at bay when it comes to concealers because if you got under eye lines, like that's your facial structure. But I will say this combo absolutely minimizes that. And I will say I've tried this brush alone with other powders, and this brush is, I think, one of the major reasons why it's so light and so fresh for so long. But the combo of these two, it's up there with my Natasha Denona High Glam in terms of being like best launch of the year status. Since I tried this combo, I cannot put it down. It makes so many of my creamy concealers that don't wear long. This extends the longevity of them on the under eye without looking too heavy. I don't use this powder all over my face. I mostly just keep it on the under eyes and maybe right here because I normally like a little bit of a loose powder to set that in and blur that area. I'm sorry, you guys. I just ate a big bowl of pasta and my stomach is now crunched up. It makes me not able to breathe and fills my lungs with air and burps. Slow down, girl. But anyways, you should get that if you're on the market. If you're on the market for under eye setting powder, you should get that. Okay, these, again, took me a while to fall in love with because it was when I was in that first trimester trance. But now that I'm out of it, I really see the beauty in these MAC Strobe Light Beam Liquid Blushes. There are so many blushes that have launched. All of them are kind of the same. You can't lie to me. There's only so many different ways to formulate a blush. However, this is one that stands out. It's a unique formula and it is gorgeous. So these are very watery, liquidy blushes, which is not normally a style of blush that I enjoy because I find that it breaks up and separates the base underneath. It doesn't quite become one with that product. With these, they blend out so easily. They don't give that weird look of separation. It just goes and mixes right into whatever base you have, and the colors are so fun. Today I played with 3 different ones. So for my blush, I mixed Ice Gleam and Starlight, and they have some really great options, by the way, if you're very, very fair. And then I used the shade Lightning, which is also kind of like a highlight. It's a golden shade on the top of my cheeks. I thought it would look good with my eyeshadow. But I mean, I've played with pretty much all of these blushes. Some of them can look deep, but they blend out so easily with just a little tap of the brush. They make the skin look really juicy without feeling too thick and heavy. It's just a liquid blush formula unlike that I've ever used. I don't have another formula like this, and the finish of these, they're so glowy and so pretty without emphasizing texture, but they blend in like milk. I don't want to say like butter because butter's thicker, but they don't add an extra layer onto the skin, but they still give that color because they're so thin. Stunning. These are if you're looking for something unique that you don't have in your collection already, something that actually is going to add something in the blush department, I really, really recommend these. I've been loving them. Next up, actually surprisingly no cream bronzers or anything. I've been using a lot of powders because they've just been really good. As you know, Vanngo just launched his makeup line, and there's so many great products. If you check out the last video I did, there's some similarities here, like, what is it, 5-star makeup products I recommend. There's a few products from Vanngo's line that I recommended because he's come out with some really great products, but the product that stands out the most to me has been this soft blurring bronzer. Now, I have the shade Straightforward. I saw this and I was like, oh, this might look a little muddy on me. I've been liking a really lighter bronzer nowadays that I just find it looks more natural on me. But there is something about the way that this rolls over the skin. They call it soft blurring, and it really is that blurring technology, making it so quick and easy to apply. It might look intimidating, but I just feel like the outskirts of my face look so soft and so blurred. It's such a lightweight powder, so easy to use. Again, it's that situation where there's only so many ways you can formulate a powder bronzer nowadays, but I feel like this adds something to my collection that I didn't have before, even though it's a powder. It just is a bronzed veil all over the skin. It's more of a true powder. I know I always use Hourglass as an example of a veil. This is more of a matte powder kind of veil over the skin that just blends with ease, no splotchiness. You can afford to go a little bit deeper with this without having any trouble. So I've been loving this powder bronzer. And then I know I keep talking about this. It'll be quick because I would be lying to you if this wasn't in my favorites video. It's my favorite launch every single year. This sets me up for powders for pretty much the whole year. The Hourglass holiday launch that launched last month. The palette that I've ended up using the most was the Swan, and they are selling out at Sephora, but I did see there was Swan in stock. This is the medium toned one. This is the one that I've been using the most. Obviously, I didn't need to use the bronzer today, but I've been enjoying this blush right here, Sunset Flush. It's what I used today with the highlight. And then, of course, it does have dim light, which is my favorite finishing powder. I've done deep dives on this. You'll find so many videos on the launches this year with each of the palettes, the swatches, the whole nine. I have all of the details on it. Every single year, I tell you, these are the best powders on the market because they are. They're not flat. They're glowy without emphasizing any texture. These are what I bring with me to travel. They're my holy grail powders for the face. They do provide an Hourglass filter for the skin. I've done my spiel so many times. I know it's expensive. I'm not going to tell you it's worth it or to spend your money, but for me, it is 100% worth the investment in powders of this quality. If I didn't do what I did for a living and I wasn't required, you know, self-required, but if I didn't make a living off of testing all of the new products, I would be content purchasing 1 or 2 of these palettes every single year, and these would be my powders. Maybe not content. I'm not a minimalist. I could never be content, but these would be like the main powders of the year. She ain't no minimalist here. I've always had a big collection even before I did this. Hold on, I'm thirsty. And then the last product that I have for complexion is a setting spray, and maybe this just works so good. This is from Pat McGrath. It's the Skin Fetish Glass 001 setting spray. You know I've been a little with Pat McGrath lately, which her palette is on the way to me, by the way. Like, we do have that, but I do believe it's being sent in PR. Otherwise, I would have ordered it myself, but they let me know they were sending me it. But you'll hear about that soon. But anyways, This, it really works. It really does create this glass-like finish and glow on the skin without feeling too heavy. I mean, they did a phenomenal job formulating this. I think the packaging's so cheap. My sticker on here is literally crooked, but what is inside is liquid gold. I mean, it really creates a non-sweaty glass-like finish, and that's all I can say about that. It does everything that it's supposed to do. There's so many setting sprays out there on the market that say they're going to give that glass-like appearance and don't. This is not one that lies. She don't lie. This gives a glass-like glow, and I love the spray. It's nice and soft, but it really transforms the finish of your makeup. Like, I can see it when I walk past the mirror. I just see that glass-like glow, and it's stunning, but it's not overpowering. I'm looking, I realized I don't have any favorites for the eyes. I mean, there's a lot of really good palettes and sticks and stuff that have launched recently, but why didn't I pick anything? I just don't think I've been using anything long enough. But you know, I've been loving the Makeup by Mario cream sticks, Urban Decay Naked sticks, the Natasha Denona palettes that just launched are really good. Vanngo, that new neutrals, is incredible. But I felt like I hadn't used them enough leisurely, as I've been saying, to put them in this video. But if you're curious about what's on my eyes, because it's quite it's there, it's show-stopping. I'm sure you couldn't look past it. I'm still, since Vanngo launched so many eyeshadow palettes, I'm still working my way through them. So today we tested Generous Green and Yellow for the first time, and very, very vivid. I was getting green powder all over my face. It turned my concealer green, but the quality on this is fine. It's not my favorite. The new neutrals is my favorite from him. That's for another video. I don't know why I'm going on a tangent, but that's what I used today. But I'm skipping right over to lips. I guess I didn't have any huge eye products, but I have not been able to put down these Rephr Beauty Soft Definition Longwear Lip Liners because these last a really long time. They're creamy and easy to apply, but they aren't too slippery to apply. And in particular, the colors in this line. So today I demoed the shade Almond, which is kind of my go-to brown taupey shade that is almost like a contour on the lips. When I want something that is my lips but better, more punchier, I use the shade Fig. And then Honey, that lightest shade, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because I normally prefer depth around the lips. And this is almost a little bit lighter, but it's absolutely gorgeous for a fresh, everyday face with a fresh lip. I've been pairing this with, I think it's Au Naturel lip gloss from Jane Iredale. That is the perfect everyday soft lip. And I didn't put any Jane Iredale lip products in today's video, but I've been using those religiously. It's just, I talked about them in my 5-star makeup video, and it would be the exact same video if I had put them in. Those low-key are also my favorites. But these are such a good lip liner formulation. They're soft. They're not too strong. They're meant to give like a softer definition, which I think has been very, very pretty on more everyday natural makeup days, which is the intention of the brand. Like, you can just throw these on and they're going to be flattering. So the shade range on these is incredible. And then these lipsticks are ones that fell through the cracks that I felt like I didn't mention these enough, but they're phenomenal. They're this blurring lip tint. These are the matte lip tints from Thrive Cosmetics. I think these are the perfect amount of color for just a natural lip, and they're kind of that Korean beauty blurring style situation, so they do a nice job of blurring the lips without having any shine. Obviously, like a lip gloss is going to fill in the lines of the lips, but I find that this does blur pretty well. I still have the lines, but it is matte. And it's super duper comfortable. It feels really thin on the lips. And the colors are really nice. I like to just give my lips a wash of color with these. And they last a long time. So these soft blur lip tints is how I would describe them. And the colors are really pretty. You can really customize the vividness that you get from this, because you can build it up if you want to, but you can also make it truly just a tint just by patting it on the lips as well to give a nice flush to the face. Today, I don't necessarily love it with this look, but I wanted to wear one. I'm using the shade Chenoa, Chenoa, and I just think so pretty, and I can get more depth, as you can see, as I add that on. But it wears really, really well, and even when it fades, it kind of leaves somewhat of a stain behind, so you're always going to look like you have color on your lips regardless. So that sums it up for makeup. Like I said, I do have some skincare, hair care, body care, all of that kind of stuff that I'm going to try and whiz through because I've talked too much already. I can feel it. Hold on, I'm thirsty. So for skincare, I've been loving, I've put this on my bathroom vanity, the Pharmacy Lip Smoothie in Strawberry. This is truly one of the best lip mask formulas. You know I'm into Laneige, I've been loving the ColourPop, I love the Fenty, but this is one where it's just so hydrating. I think it's one of the more hydrating ones on the market. It's not as hard as some other lip masks can be. It's a little ooey gooey, which I think is what makes it so hydrating. And this semi-new fragrance is strawberry. I mean, it's very summery, but I think it just smells so good. And I just love that it's cute and it's pink. And this has been my go-to hydrator of late. And then SPF. Listen, don't be an SPF police and tell me I didn't apply too much. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Anyways. But since I'm pregnant, I've switched over to mineral sunscreens. I've read that it's just better ingredients. So I've been using this and I've actually been really enjoying it because I hate SPFs. I do. I just hate them. But this one doesn't bother me so much. It's not as sticky as a lot of SPFs that I've tried. It doesn't sit so heavy or affect makeup wear time, especially if I give it enough time to penetrate into the skin. This is the Caudalie VenoSun Daily Mineral Sunscreen. It's SPF 50. I know Caudalie is so expensive, but I did get this in PR, but I would repurchase this if I ran out, just because my pregnant skin is really loving it. A reason when you're pregnant, your skin is more prone to getting those dark spots on your skin, so it's important to put on your SPF. So this is the one that I have in my bathroom that I've been really loving. It's thinner. The last one I recommended was the Jones Road, which I still like, but it's a bit thicker and a bit stickier. If I want something that feels a little bit more lightweight for the daily, I've fallen in love with this Caudalie one. So wanted to give that a shout out. Last skin product that I have, I don't think I've ever mentioned before, but this has been really useful in removing my makeup. It's the Hard Candy Makeup Remover Spray, and it just helps the makeup dissolve. Don't yell at me. I use makeup wipes to take off my makeup. It just works for me, but I use this in conjunction with makeup wipes. So I'll spray my face with this, and then I'll use my makeup wipe, and it just makes the makeup 10 times easier to come off. So whatever you use to remove your makeup, if you add this into your routine, it will just make it that much easier. It hasn't contributed to any breakouts. You know, I've been on the struggle bus, but we're getting somewhere. My skin has really improved of late. I don't know if it's hormonal or my makeup routine. Who's to say? But I know this doesn't irritate my skin. So I love this, and it's so affordable, and it helps make makeup removal process easier. So who doesn't love that? So I wanted to give this a shout out. This is an amazing product. Body care, I've talked about this recently for my tummy routine, as my tummy is really starting to grow a lot quicker. So I was like, okay, I gotta get on that tummy routine, especially with winter coming up. So I've gone to Josie Moran. She's gonna be my girl for this. I love her argan oil situation. So I tried to do this in the morning too. I'm not so great at it. I hate feeling sticky, but definitely before bed. I'm using the whipped argan oil body butter. This doesn't have added fragrances in it. I just don't want to put too much fragrance on my literal stomach where the baby is. And it doesn't feel as sticky as so many other hydrators, and it just blends in really quickly because it's a thinner consistency. Not watery, but it is thinner, but it still like stays on the skin. Like I can feel it hydrating through the night. And then if I'm feeling as extra frisky, I try to do this most evenings because this will lock in that hydrator, and I will only do this at night because it's a bit heavy and expensive to do every day. But I have, as you can see, I've been loving it, the argan oil from Josie Moran, 100% argan oil. It's fantastic for the skin, fantastic for a growing belly bump. So I use this after my body lotion, and this will really kind of finish it off. I think it helps promote, okay, I believe this helps promote extra hydration because it kind of acts as a barrier. Does that make sense? it like locks in the body lotion, and this is also like extremely hydrating for the belly. So I do that combo at night. I did recently, this weekend I went to the mall, so I just picked up the Lush belly balm little thingy, so I'll keep you updated on that. So but that's what I've been using up until this point. And then finally for hair, I have a couple things. I feel like a lot of you guys have been complimenting my natural hair a lot lately, just my wavy routine. I would contribute it to this. This is my new favorite curl cream. For a long time, for years actually, I've been using Not Your Mother's Curl Talk definition cream, but I feel like lately, in the last year or two, it's become a bit too heavy for my hair, so it was losing that fabulous bounce that the curls used to have. So I switched over to this, the Home Curl Definition Cream from Fenty Hair, and I found that my curls have been getting that buoyancy back, and it's just less heavy on the hair. I also really love the packaging. It's very convenient with this top. So this has been contributing to my good hair days. And then on second, third day hair, I refresh with water and the Not Your Mother's Refreshing Foam. That's still incredible from their curl line. But for the main post-wash day, this is the curl cream that I use. I take a good amount, and then I just literally scrunch my hair. I know there's so many curly hair routines out there. I try to keep mine as simple as possible. This is the only product other than a leave-in conditioner that I'll put in, and I'll let it air dry. But on days when I'm styling, I want to talk about how I've been, I'm not a hair person, but how I maintain my blowouts and just what I've been loving in general. And let me make sure I have the name right. I'm a T3 girl when it comes to my hair tools. I love T3. So they have the Air 360, and they are copying Dyson, but it's a simplified set here. So it comes with, this thing, the handle, and then it comes with two of these, just like the Dyson, and then it comes with the blowout brush. I've always been a blowout brush girl. I love this blowout brush, and it doesn't get tangled like my old Revlon, which I love my Revlon one, but I feel this one doesn't burn my hair quite as much as the Revlon. So what I do to get my hair smooth is I use the blowout brush, and yeah, I used it in this demo that I showed you to refresh because I'm on like 4th day hair, I think, right now, and I was looking frizzy because I go on walks every night and it's been really humid outside, so I've been needing to refresh. So this is what I use to refresh, with a little bit of spray, or of course when I want the Dyson style air wrap curlers, this is better than the Dyson. It's a little bit hotter, so I do think it has more damage than the Dyson, but if you're somebody like me with really frizzy hair, those Dyson curls, I need to put in a lot of product to make them last. I feel I can put in less product when I use this because I think it gets a little less hot. So my curls last longer with this T3 one. And don't get me wrong, I still like my Dyson. I also have really been enjoying my Shark. And those tools as a whole, they have a lot more to offer. But this has like the simple blowout brush and then the air wands. And I think it performs really, really well. I'm seeing online, the ones now come with a blow dryer. Did mine ever come with a blow dryer? Oh, mine does have a blow dryer. I just never use it. That's why I was like, wait. No, this one does come with a blow dryer top. I literally just never used it. I am happy with my blowout brush. Cool. I didn't even know that. But anyways, those are the two parts of it that I do use the most, and I like it better air wrap wise. And blow dry brush. I do not like the blow dry brush on my Dyson. I like my little T3 guy better. So I wanted to share that because this is what I've been using to maintain that blowout style hair, and it actually holds. So if you've been struggling, maybe look in the direction of T3. I think they're very underrated for hair tools. Boom! These are all the products that I've been loving. It was a product heavy video this time because it had been a while, but I love makeup again. I love wearing makeup again. I love playing with makeup again. So I had a lot of fun with this, as well as I'm excited to share with you those body and hair products. They're fantastic. As somebody who isn't as into like skincare, hair care, body care. I care, but not as much as I do makeup. I found some products that I really, really loved that I wanted to share with you. So as always, I will have all of the products that I mentioned in today's video linked down below for you guys if you want to check anything out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.
It's delicious.